sitting here getting some work done on Saturday, and I'm doing emails, and I've got one here that says, "How does my son," or something to the effect of, my son's not a great athlete. Footwork, aggressiveness, slow. That's the content of the email. My best advice is instead of doing footwork drills at, maybe some gym down the road, most of the footwork drills you see take place from pretty much upright stance. We call it basketball stance, right? Track runners, football players. You're just slightly bent at the waist, and you're hopping on dots, so you're running up and down the tape that's taped in a ladder formation, or foot fire drills. And I mean, those are great, but you're not in a stance. So the developing your athleticism or your footwork from a basketball stance really is a waste of time and money. Those things are not cheap. My advice is simply this: what we call dynamic drilling. Those of you who follow our wrestling system and our DVDs know that we like to push, pull, hit, pick, post, pass, and fake. 7 ways to get to your opponent's legs. And what we like to do is, with our newer guys and girls, is just drill, maybe a pass to a leg, maybe a hit, a head snap to a leg. But then once they get more experience, like in our elite room or our high school room, once they get the concept down, then we move down the line into what we call dynamic drilling, where we'll wrestle straight to the legs. So I might push, pull, pass, and score. You have a collar tie, I push in a little bit. The guy pressures back, I circle left and pull, then I pass the elbow off and go to the legs. So I'm kind of putting 3 setups together. Fake, hit, score. Wrist pick, pull. There's a pick and a pull. We might fake and pass and score. I might hit, your opponent stands up, and you take off running and score a drive single leg. That's a pick and a push. So now we're using our setups, because what wrestling is this: high crotch, double, single. That's basically it. Sure, you have your near arm far leg, your fireman's, your drive single leg, ankle pick, low single leg, pick and drive, which is a drive single leg without hitting your knee. So there's about 7 or 8 leg attacks that are on the table. But for the most part, it kind of revolves around a high crotch single or a double and a single. And the other leg attacks are, for the most part, core, but maybe a little bit more secondary, or they're kind of derivatives. A near arm far leg is a single leg or an outside fireman's carry. So there's kind of the combination. So once you have a good fireman's carry or a single leg, you can hit a near arm far leg. So, those core leg attacks are kind of the cornerstone of your leg attack. So we drill those, and the kids know how to hit those techniques. And you say, great. Well, then they get in the match and they can't score. And we say, how come you don't use what you know? Well, we're not drilling on a stationary opponent. There's technique in gymnastics. So if I have a gymnastics routine, let's say on the balance beam, those are moves, right? My gymnastics moves that I have drilled, and I go there in a controlled setting, and I jump on the balance beam, and I do my moves, and I get Olympic medals. Where in wrestling, if you know moves, no one cares. You can't have a drill competition where there's judges that watch you drill wrestling technique and then give you medals. You have to hit in live competition. No one's hitting that girl in the back of the head while she's on the balance beam. The balance beam's not moving. No one's double legging her while she's trying to hit a cartwheel, right? So wrestling's an ugly sport. So that's the problem. Then once you can hit in live competition, then we say, well, that's great. Now guess what? That's a JV wrestler. Go hit it on a state medalist. Doesn't work. Put your mat time in. Then you hit it on the state medalist. Then you got the state champ, and it doesn't work. Grab the state champs and go. That's the reason, workout partners are what we say, about 30% of your wrestling success comes from workout partners. You got to have them. Now, if you're a low-skill kid, having workout partners isn't really that important. If you're a pre-algebra kid and you're studying with a advanced calculus group, that good study group's not doing you very much good. So wrestling's much the same way. Get the skills and then get the workout partners, and then you got to just stay on that path. But we're always trying to work ourselves up to the better opponent where we can execute in live competition. So to help bridge that gap, we would like to implement sort of a live wrestling sort of scenario into our drilling, which we call dynamic drilling. So you take our push, pull, hit, pick, post, pass, and fake setup routines, and you add combos to that, and you add a couple of setups together. And we also want to drill from our what we call our hard ties. Some people call it controlled ties. I call them hard ties. Left-handed collar tie, right-handed collar tie, left hand inside, right hand elbow, left hand elbow, right hand inside, inside in a wrist, underhook, two insides. All your opponent has a collar tie where it's scoring off of the elbow. So those are your in tight kind of core hard tie-up positions. And so some of your dynamic drilling will take place from those, not just inside ties. So if you're struggling with athleticism, there's a great idea, and get these kids wrestling to the legs after they know. If they don't know a high crotch to a double leg, it's stupid to try to move your feet and wrestle to the leg because they don't know what they're doing yet. So once the kids have the attacks down and they look good, then start getting them to wrestle to the legs with our dynamic drilling scenario, and you're going to have a lot of success. If you have questions, you can contact me, purlerwrestling.com, or nick@purlerwrestling.com is the email, and my number's on the website as well. And you might have interest in training with us. We have a 15,000 square foot training center that we own. It's in Wentzville, Missouri, just a little bit north of Wentzville, the very center of the United States, right here next to St. Louis, easy to get to. And we have weekly academy, summer camps, weekend camps, scrimmages, dual meets, you name it. So come check us out. And if you have questions, don't be shy. And if I can help, I will respond to all the emails and help if I can. Thanks.